Hi, today I'm going to try and go through the model that I've developed. I'm going to go through with more development with each country. I have checked today and updated the New Zealand data just as a test to see how well it matches. It seems to be matching, unfortunately, frighteningly well. And as a result, I'll try to go through other countries and one by one go through them and bring them all up to date, because now there's enough data to check the advance of the coronavirus and maybe make some estimates as to about how long this will last within each country. Here we have the New Zealand data, which I just did. It looks like they will have a maximum of 1,000 people. They're over the hump right now. This is a number of active infected cases. I think it's about 800. 1,409 cases, 11 deaths so far, 816 have recovered. Total cases are now up to, 1,401. The deaths rose a little bit. Today they dropped slightly. Before there were 20, now dropped to 15 people going back in. You can see that this isn't continuing down as well as it should be. 622, all right, I estimated at about 800 would be up to about here, but again, I'm a little high on my estimate. So 622 with 624. So up to April 1st, and it looks like these people could be out of quarantine by May the 31st. This will extend on to May the 31st, according to the model, which I have, and according to the data that's been presented. So that looks pretty good. Back to the model itself. We're at 600 and something. So we're there all the way down to here within this particular data. Now, one of the things I'll go through is double check this. And I will check this in Italy. So with Italy, I usually start off with the death rate, just death rate, and then see if there's a change in the death rate. There actually has been a change in the death rates. The death rates drop, but we'll keep the death rate constant throughout. So I have Italy is the third highest hit, third worst hit. Deaths of 22,000 people. Unbelievably tragic. 22,000 people. Number recovered, 40,000 people. This was one-time high as 44%. It's now dropped to 35%. Okay, we've changed the death rate down to a little over 35%, where it is. We're still looking at a grand total. This thing tells me at 180,000, but we have to see where this data is active in affected cases, and we need to adjust this number. That's how fast Italy is responding. We have the days here, which today is the 16th. So I'll put this up at the 16th. This one is the 29th. So from the 16th, we'll make that the 10th, 4th of August. From here, 0227. Let's make this 0229. And then go into March about 15th. That'll give us a fairly good picture of how people have responded to this. And the response is, of course, this number right here, which is now an error because nothing works right, because I've changed these numbers. Total number of cases is still going up. They're trying desperately to bring this off. So we'll just put that up. The 16th, which is today. Next one was April 10th. Then I think I said March 29th is the next. No, March 15th and March 29th. Those are the four numbers I need of people who have been infected. It's now going to be March 15th. What date is this? The 16th, 168,941. Give it to me. 168,941. April the 10th, 147,577. March 15th, 24,747. And February 29th, 1128. Okay, so that's our number right now. We'll now add that back in. Okay, so there's the numbers which we have taken from this word is logarithmic. What I'm trying to get now is down to active cases. This has got to roll over. This has got to come down the other side. Even though the number of cases are beginning to fall, these cases need to fall, and the number of new cases need to drop out. And then this may hit zero theoretically within 14 days after. So we now return to the model. We punch in our numbers. 168,941. These aren't just numbers, these are human beings. 147,577. We're at 24,747. And this is 1128. All right, and what's our number? That's our DY. Still at 6%. The country is still at 6%. There has not been a change from before. So these numbers, unfortunately, are going to be as drastic as they are. Let's see where we are, if we can at least find a kink here. So I'm going to reduce this to 24 to 200 days. March 29. To be safe, I should make it April 1st, but just for the sake of, I'll make it March 29th. That's when this is going to be. Yeah, I'm going to call it here, March 29th. So let's put that on the board at March 29th, inflection point. So we have an inflection point, March 29th, we think. So within our graph, it's going to go up and down and like this. We're still climbing. So we're looking for this point here, which is the inflection point here, roughly from here to here on this S curve. This is just going to be an S curve going this way. This inflection point that I'm looking for the point that goes up like this. This will be total cases. This will be active. So this is active. Right, properly, Bruce. And this is total. That's your total cases. That point there is going to match this point. This point on the inflection point should mark about here. And this point here will be about a quarter of the way here. So that will match to here. Okay, this looks like this is at March 29th. Looking at this, we will have to double this from here to here to see how far we go. So from March 29th. And this data started February 13th, but it would have been before that. Let's start February 1st. Let's not, so from February 01 to March 29th, that's like 60 days. So we're saying that about 60 days later is where we're going to hit the inflection point according to the data. Within 60 days would be over to here. So this has been going for 60 days. So at 60 days, we're at this point here, another 60 days up to here. So that'll be 120. This represents about 60 days in to that inflection point, which means you've got about another 60 days before it hits the peak. So 60 days, where are we? 2020-03-29th equals that one plus 60 days. 05/28, end of May. You'll turn it at the end of May. And that will be plus 120. Italy. It'll be September, the end of September, by the time you can come out of quarantine, by the time this horror is over. And it will reach its peak at the end of May. So, according to this model, if this is our inflection point here, and it began on February 1st, then this will peak at about the end of May, and then will finally die off at the end of September. That is what this data is telling us. What a horrific situation. And if that is so, and the death rate remains as it is, then the death rate, the doctors are fighting as hard as they can. The death rate's at about 35% and seems to be holding, and it will be over 600,000 people. Let's see if that makes any sense. Total number of cases. Well, it hits, we're over 200,000 people. It may hit 500,000 people, or it may hit 400,000. So if our active cases, total number of active cases, let's say it's 73,000, 140, it's called 150,000. So the total number of cases should hit 150,000. Man, that is close. That is close. One of the things I can bring it down, chances are 1 on 1.06. So it'll peak out end of May, and the end of the quarantine will be September 25th. And it will end up with almost 200,000 dead people from what I have.